and what they were.
Did you send him that baseball bat that I sent you to send to Dom?
What?
Listen, just because I used a 50 caliber rifle to crack Stolas' leg open, and we are live.
Oh, I did tell Dom about that, by the way. That because he was like, he thought that Vampire was just a video game. So I was explaining it to him and explained how I gave you guys a 50 caliber rifle and you decided to use it as a club. He nodded approvingly.
The best part was I was nodding when you said he nodded approvingly. I was like, yeah, it was a good decision.
Also, I did send that one to Dom too.
Good. Did he also nod approvingly?
Yes,
Why does it look like it's just a bunch of butt plugs on a bat?
because it is. Guri immediately closes Discord on the stream.
Well, the thing is, that's for like the chat, and I was like, well, that's not up right now. So when I bring that back, I'll turn it back on. Because, again, you're saying this is information that when I wake up.
Right.
Yeah, you're waking up. Go live.
I am live.
He even said he's live.
It doesn't show live for me. It still shows you offline.
Refresh your damn browser.
I am, but now I've got an ad.
Get wrecked.
And it's
Guri
some
gotta get money
strange new
somehow.
world Star Trek bullshit.
I think the new show came out on Paramount Plus. That's why.
That one's actually supposed to be pretty good.
Season 2 is supposed to be out soon, I think.
Yeah.
Season 1 was pretty good, actually.
Alright.
But Spare's head.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think the new Babylon 5 still looks better, but you know, whatever.
If you like cartoons, maybe.
Yeah, I do.
Now listen, space nerds, we're here to be in Seattle in a realistic environment with the
In the future
undead.
still.
In the future, I mean, like some of us are already in Greater Seattle.
Wrangling cats is a good way to put it, I believe.
Hey, I'm trying to bring this back into
Shut up.
focus.
So,
Oh hi.
the last time that we spoke at all whatsoever was a quick little rundown of some information that had needed to be answered that was basically done at the tail end for timeline reasons of the previous night. So we are now going to be starting a new night. For all intents and purposes, most of what happened in that last session was answering some of the questions that Corin had sent off to her sire. And if I remember correctly, there was the sorry, I'm trying to find my notes. They all kind of bleed together a little bit. There was Cammy doing the surveillance on the Lasombra woman that you guys had interactions with. There was Cole producing a bit more of his music tracks and getting some of that stuff figured out. There was Guri John Williams, his character, putting in an official request for the items that he wanted from his security company, and Solon had gone and talked to his homie in the library and got some information that way as well. Have I missed anything?
I don't think so.
Right now, I'm just debating whether or not to open that window again with the spiked bat in the picture frame. Because half of me wants to, and then the other half is just like, will this get me banned?
I think it's
Fixed.
removed, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Okay. So, if there's anything that I forgot and we get to it, we'll just go over it then. Might as well move forward a little bit. So, As I was saying before the actual start of the game, I've sent you guys all some messages to go over because this is the start of a new night. One bookkeeping thing, because I've already told, I'm pretty sure the only person I've told so far is Clinton. But from now on, when you guys wake up in the Haven, I'm not going to be having you guys do rouse checks because that seems pointless. We were doing it because I wanted you to get used to it, having to do a rouse check for waking up. It's kind of like being hungry in the morning when you wake up, right? We're not going to be doing that as long as you guys are staying in the Haven and you have access to the ghouls to be able to feed because it's kind of a pointless mechanic when you can immediately solve the problem, right? So we're not going to be doing that. However, if there's ever a situation where maybe you guys are out camping and don't have ready access to ghouls, then I'll bring back the rouse checks for waking up specifically.
Sounds good.
So we're gonna go through. You guys have woken up. It's a brand new day. Fantastic. Does anybody want to volunteer to go over their message if they have questions about it to begin with? Otherwise, I'm going to start volunteering.
Sure.
Okay. Let's go with Guri first. John, sorry.
All right. So we got the first aid supplies. I believe you said that the stock for the rifle is going to take a little bit longer.
That's correct.
All right. So I opened the supply kit and all that. Why a hand crossbow?
So specifically with that one, they included a hand crossbow with 10 wooden bolts and 10 silver bolts. It is a known thing that there are vampires in and around, or not vampires, but obviously there are vampires. Werewolves. There is a tribe of werewolves in roughly the area, and this is just they're trying to take care of you a little bit and give you a little bit of an edge.
All right. Oh, a secondary question about the wooden bolts.
Okay.
Are they technically stakes?
Correct. They
All right.
are completely wooden. They are not tipped at all. They are basically sharpened sticks that you can launch at a high velocity.
All right. So don't hit Solus with them.
Yeah, probably not a good thing.
Them evil things away.
It's a stake if you try hard enough.
All
And
right.
that's accurate.
All right. And do I notice anything else about the playing cards?
So the next deal that he got is a new, fresh set of playing cards that are themed around the Seattle Kraken hockey team. Because he had asked them about the cards that you guys have received up until this point that have that Kraken symbol on there. And on the cellophane, there is a smiley face written in Sharpie that is already starting to smudge off because I don't know if you've ever tried to write with a Sharpie on cellophane, but it doesn't work very well. That's literally all it is. It is a completely fresh and new pack of just normal playing cards that are themed around the hockey team.
Who is it that has premonition?
I believe that's Corn.
Me.
Yeah. Like, I guess when we get together, I'll take care of that. But all right. So the energy drink.
Yes.
Uh,
That I'm going to leave up to you to describe because just for out of character things, um,
Yeah.
there is intention behind this item.
Yes.
So you get to choose how much you are willing to share. Back in character, nobody heard that.
Yeah. All right. Hold on. 1 second. I'll send this question to you privately.
All right, sounds good.
Uh.
Since that was the last of your items before you actually get distracted by sending that question, was there anything else you would like to discuss, or can I move on to another person?
I think you can move on.
Okay, I will answer that in just a moment.
Okay.
Who would like to go next?
What's a book? We got a book here. Oh, this is the book of knowledge. I can tell. Look, everyone. Look. Sire Sin's book of knowledge for us. Quick. I must read. Then I will decipher the knowledge for you.
Give him a paperweight.
So, for clarification, specifically the name of the book that was given to him that was dropped off is called Abyssal Folklore Seattle's Murky Secrets. And to literally everybody else, it can be immediately identified as New Age pagan schlock.
Does it include the tree octopus?
There is definitely an article of the tree octopus in that book. However, I would like to put forward, even though it's New Age pagan schlock, there's still been enough weird bullshit that there might be a nugget of truth in it. And especially for somebody like Solon who can interpret the weirdest fucking things into something that actually makes sense, and vice versa. The only thing he can't do is Julian fries.
Um, do I need to roll anything for studying this, or just head off for right now with it, and we'll roll or go over that later?
It's pretty straightforward. You could basically just spend some time reading it, and you're good. I'm not going to make you roll anything to interpret it.
Okay.
This is also more of like allowing you some creative agency into coming up with your own interpretations rather than me just regurgitate a whole bunch of stuff for you. But if you're at a blocking point, obviously I will help out with some ideas of what's contained in that book.
Okay,
Mostly
I'm gonna
because I
need a little bit
physically.
of help with that, because y'all do know a lot more about the Seattle area than I do.
Yeah, that's totally fine. And we can go over that a little bit later. Because there are some specific things that tie into other stuff.
Hey, Dago. What's he doing?
You just see me like wrap the book around my chest and look around and just scamper off to a corner.
Okay, anybody else? Neat. We're going with Corin now. Do you want to talk about your thing, or do you want to keep that to yourself for right now?
Sorry, let me go back to my text message.
Wow.
I have multiple windows up. I'm sorry, I only have one monitor.
Wow, only one?
Be like me and buy two more.
Guys, I just spent
Alright.
money
Set
on
up
a
a fourth
standing
one.
desk, okay? I'm just,
I
I
need
spent
one
a lot
more.
of money already. I'm gonna spend more money. I probably, to be honest, first what is. Wait, did my sire send me a picture of La Rosa and her fuck toy, or was it? Sorry, Gary. Or did she just send me the test message?
Just the test message. Mostly because she assumes you already know what LaRosa looks like.
I know what she looks like. And based off the description you sent me, I'm gonna assume I remember him. Or it's a guy, right?
It is a guy, yes.
Okay. I probably would have sent screenshot it, just that portion of the message, and send it to the group chat. Because I think it might be on our list of things to do. Or possibly Brady was also gonna look into La Rosa, right? For us?
Grady, yes.
Grady. Oh, that's my notes being really scritchy. Okay. Yeah, I would
So
just sent a screenshot of that message to
Okay.
everyone.
I went ahead and posted that in the Chronicle voice channel chat so that everybody can read that since it would be going to everybody.
I'm assuming we're all in our own rooms still.
Yes. Okay. Let's see. Cammy, do you want to talk about what you were given?
No.
All right, cool. Moving on, I believe the last thing to talk about would be Cole and Kian talking to Lars.
I don't remember if everyone is here, but I do want to pass on, make sure everyone knows that I did discover that Tentacle Lady finally exited the water near Discovery Park, which, if you look at our neighborhood map, is the tip of Magnolia on the water. So, just passing that on.
Right, and Magnolia being part of Baron LaRosa's territory.
Yes. Doesn't mean she's from there, just where she got out of the water.
All right. Does anybody have any questions about that before we move on to Kian and Cole?
Didn't we see her at, like, it seems like from that statement she might be returning to Magnolia Park because she came from there at one point in one of our sessions after I sent, my sire mentioned it after I sent a picture of that lady.
That is correct.
Was her name Liliana? Is that the
That
name of
is
the girl in the red dress?
also correct.
Okay. So Magnolia might be a general hideout for her. And I would have sent that in a text message.
Anything else before we move on to Cole and Kian? Cool. Moving on to Cole and Kian. So, for the two of you guys, Lars from the music shop in Seattle has shown up and is waiting for you guys when you do wake up and come out into the main area. So, before that, do either of you want to do anything before Lars kind of like waves you down?
I do not.
I would probably just grab my book for lyrics and stuff and go back to doing recording and mastering.
Okay. So, before you get a chance to actually complete that particular task, he waves the two of you down because he's got an idea that he wants to run by you. He heard from Rachel that Kian is, um, quote unquote, into business, and that Cole piqued his interest with the music equipment and the ideas that he was sharing with him. And he thought it would be he basically wants to put forward an idea to turn part of the museum that you guys are currently inhabiting into basically a musical attraction kind of deal, where there would be a recording studio that people could come in and rent out, but also have a music equipment shop plus like a basically a music through the ages exhibit within the museum. And he wanted to run that idea by you guys.
Isn't it's the EMT, not EMT, EMP.
EMP.
Is the EMP still a thing?
It physically exists in a form, not in a usable one.
Okay. Because that would have been my only, aren't we stepping on their toes by doing this?
Even if you were, capitalism's a bitch.
What's an EMP? Sorry.
It's a museum that's out here that has a lot of memorabilia from some very Seattle centric and Washington centric bands. So like there's a whole exhibit on Jimi Hendrix, there's a whole exhibit on Nirvana, there's a whole exhibit on Pearl Jam and a couple of the other grunge punk things, but like very Seattle centric music. There is a section of the museum to it. Albeit it is a much smaller section than I think it used to be, because at this point the music section is like this couple rooms, and then there's a whole thing on horror, and a whole thing on fantasy, and a whole thing on sci-fi, and
Yeah, it's now Mopop, Museum of
You're
Pop
talking about
Culture.
Mopop. Like, what are
Yeah,
you
yeah,
because
talking
it used to
about?
be EMP.
yeah,
Yeah, it turned into the bigger thing because EMP by itself was not doing well at all because no one gives a fuck about Seattle music.
Except people not from Seattle, apparently.
Right.
yes. I think it sounds great. I think if we can get some of like the classic instruments from some of those people and allow people to maybe record on replicas of them, it would be really cool and maybe drum up some people in and out.
Right. Like the idea would be that it's an attraction during the day so that the museum can start gaining revenue. Obviously, I'd be getting a cut as well because I'm going to be providing a lot of this equipment that I may and or may not possess from when it blew up. Some of that stuff's kind of rare now. So basically, we'd be recreating it, but taking advantage of it ourselves instead of rebuilding that entire section of land.
That doesn't sound like a terrible idea. Sounds actually pretty cool. And it serves a purpose for me so that I can get this finished. I'm down.
So, what would it take to get this up and going? And what is the expected return?
So most of the equipment and everything I've already got. It would just need to be moved over here for the most part, out of both the shop that I was planning on closing anyway, relative like within the next couple of years. So this would just like speed up that particular process because this is an idea that I've had for a while. And my current location is kind of terrible. It's a little lacking. So moving the equipment from uh, my building and my storage unit over to here, that'll take care of a lot of the inventory that we'd be talking about, the stuff that would be going on display, and at the very least, the recording studio area that my idea is we would rent out on a pretty regular basis um, during the day, right? So everything else would be the ability to ship stuff over here from there, and then advertisement and whatever renovation we might need to do to make everything fit. Because a recording studio does need a lot of like sound deafening stuff. So we would have to find an appropriate size room, which there seems to be several rooms that are pretty big in this museum that we could retrofit into it. And then we'd have to layer it up with like sound deafening foam and other equipment like that, get some better speaker systems, that sort of thing. And the idea is the return would be increased revenue from both the exhibit itself, uh, being able to sell some of the music equipment as well, and then also renting out the recording studio.
Okay, so that sounds like a lot of words, but I didn't hear a single number in there. Is this going to be expensive?
Up front, yeah, probably looking at about 150K.
And how much do you foresee earning back on renting out the space? Like, just
Um,
avoid ignoring the whole museum, like getting people in the door thing.
1 second. So, what I currently make for my recording studio in the location that I'm in right now, it's $500 an hour, and I usually have between 6 and 7 people. So let's lowball that and call it 5 people a day, 7 days a week.
And I assume this is a better location for a studio.
Considerably, because you don't have to go all the way out to the by the water to get to it. So that brings in lowballing it just a little bit lower than what my average is. That brings in about 70K a month in exclusively the recording studio.
And your expectation of cut out of all of this?
So since you're the guy that is quote unquote into business, and homie over here isn't as much quote unquote into business, he's more for the passion of it. I was looking for about 20% because I don't need much. I just want to fulfill a dream kind of deal. So the other 80 would be between the two of you.
Kind of a lot for fulfilling a dream, don't you think?
Yeah, but I also have to be able to buy equipment and do restocking and shit like that, at least for the initial. We can go down later after everything's prepaid. That'd be fine with me, but initially I do still need to retain a certain amount of capital.
Grabbing a calculator. Hold on a second.
Yeah, man. That's what I had to do too.
He's right now. I put the offer out.
Did you guys wake up today and assume we were going to be playing Vampire Shark Tank?
This is not what I had thought when I decided we were realized we were playing today. So you're looking at roughly 14 a month, leaving the remainder to us. So we're looking 56,
Yep.
46, 40, 50, 60, 70. So it's 56.
Correct.
So that would be 3 months to pay it off, the investment. Cole, what are you thinking? How much do you want out of this?
Do I get to use the recording studio for free?
On off hours?
Yep.
No, that was a statement, not a question.
Yeah, and he was agreeing with you.
Do I get to use the equipment, like the guitars and shit?
On off hours.
This is like you just opened Wonka's chocolate factory to me and said, "Go have fun." I don't care.
Doggo needs out.
If you give me a cut, I will happily send it off to wherever I send money off to. Not really hurting.
All right, tell you what. After the 3 months, everything's paid back. For those 3 months, I'll take 20% cut, and then afterwards, I'll go down to 10. We give him 10, and then you take the rest. Sound good?
That seems fair to me. And I'll chip in another 10% over to you as well.
To
Over
Cole.
Cole.
Okay. So just so
All right.
we're clear on the numbers, for the first 3 months, it'll be 20% to Lars, 10% to Cole, 70% to Kian, and then after the 3 months, it'll be 20% to Cole and 10% to Lars.
Correct.
Okay. Now it's time for me to make note of things.
Hey, do either of you know an artist?
You're gonna have to
Could you be
define that.
slightly more specific than that?
Well, like kind of like the old boxing promotional art. Like I want a boxing promotional flyer for my album cover. but I need to find an artist that can do that kind of style. I mean, I could go to the guy in the UK, but that's going to take time, and there's a lot of hours between here and across the pond.
If only you knew someone local in the art scene.
She does like oil paintings and bullshit. I figured this would be beneath her.
But she probably has contacts.
If I get scoffed at, it's your fault.
I actually might know someone just for you. It's back east. It's not exactly 8 hours away, only 3 hours away, but they might be able to do something for you too.
Wicked. All right, are we done with the numbers? Can I go back to what I was doing?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, go do your thing.
And
Thanks.
I'll get started talking to some of the boys. Um, Figure out if I can get them to do the moving so we can cut costs there. And we'll get started on that. Hopefully, I'll be done by the end of the weekend.
Sounds good. Um, and just a general thought, we keep no problem keeping your customers at the same amount. But if we get new customers, we want to renegotiate because we are in a better place. And we have better equipment, or should have better equipment fairly quickly.
Sure thing. Sounds good. Figure I'll get this done by the end of the week or the end of the weekend. Move. I'll contact all my customers, make sure that they know where the new location is. Let them know there's going to be some change. We can do some further negotiations after we get everything moved. Sound good?
Works for me. Perfect.
Go. He does some weird hand sign and takes off.
I don't understand people. At this point, I would probably, I'm going to go take a look and see if I can find the newspaper to take a look at stock market and that sort of thing. Take a look at the business in general.
Okay. Most of what is going on right now, tech is still going up little by little, like it normally does. Um, Probably think there might be a significant drop, since usually it's the case that it drops pretty significantly and then slowly builds back up. Most retail is pretty stable. There does seem to be a considerable uptick in entertainment, physical entertainment, like physically interactive entertainment, such as like sports teams, um, amusement parks, that sort of thing, theaters, shit like that. Whereas non-physical interaction.
Did I disconnect? Hello? Okay. Oh, you can hear me. No, you just voided out, like just out of nowhere. Let me try reconnecting. Connected. Well, the stream's not disconnected, but Discord is having a problem. Alright, let's see if I can. Alright. Let's see if this fixes it. Hmm. Right, let me turn this off case and then check some settings. Up.
Kian was talking about checking stuff in the newspaper still, and then we were interrupted by Gray checking if he can hear us.
Yeah, sorry. Apparently, yeah, this Discord decided to not fully connect me.
So you can actually hear us now?
Yes.
Okay. So the last thing about the I'm sorry, my brain dead. I got off track with the things, the stocks. There was that last one that was going down.
Entertainment?
Non physical entertainment.
Right, non-physical entertainment does seem to be going down. So stuff like online streaming of concerts and sporting events, that sort of thing seems to be going down pretty much nationwide. But the thing that's going up is tourism, specifically in port cities, in which Seattle happens to be a port city. And that
Is there
was the
like a
last of my updates.
is there like a tourist district, kind of like a port district?
That's pretty much downtown. There's a bit more in the area around there, but that's like the main bit of that, and where the Space Needle is. I forgot where the fuck the Space Needle is.
Magnolia is where the Space Needle is, based on
Yes,
maps you gave us.
that's correct. I swear I know
This
the city.
says the guy from New York, as opposed to the guy who lives there.
To be fair, I
It's-
also live here, and I don't pay attention to shit. Saw the Space Needle from afar and said, nope, it looks expensive.
It is. And terrifying when it rotates. So yeah, pretty much roughly in that area. There's a bit in Capitol Hill as well, but if you go like above, like north of the center and like Westlake, that downtown Magnolia, Capitol Hill, that's pretty much the center of where the tourism is. You go north of that and south of that, and you start getting into more industrial or residential. Residential being more to the north, industrial being more to the south.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you.
And to further clarify, there are still attractions and things that tourists and even locals might go to for entertainment or what like similar deals. It's just they're a lot more sparse in those areas. All right, so that was the last of that. Was there anything else that you wanted to look for before we move on to Cole seeking out porn?
Not here, no.
Okay, so we'll move on to Cole.
Ken.
Yes.
Sorry, the other one.
Corin.
Corin. Yeah, why do y'all have C names?
Why do you have a C name?
I have a K name.
It sounds the fucking same.
After that, I wander off.
I have a J name, sir.
Yeah, and you made the music for Star Wars. Good job.
I think you'd find that more impressive than anything.
Actually, I do. I'm working on remastering Duel of the Fates with the sound of the crunch. Anyway, Corin, do you know anyone who does like boxing promotion posters, like the artwork on those?
I'm sure I can find someone. Shaw, I have background influence is influential. People want to do me favors. I imagine I can find someone, right? Hello?
Sorry, I was typing out my mind being blown. I did not put that fucking together that John Williams was. Anyway, doesn't matter.
I joked about it in like the first discussion of names.
You assume that I listened
Like
to any
literally.
My
I
attention span is too short for that shit. I don't remember anything.
remember that.
of them. I'm big dumb. Anyway,
Do you need me to repeat what I just said?
I mean, you're looking for influential people that like you or your sire would have connections to, correct?
No, I have
Okay.
influence. It's
Well,
influential with it saying people want to do you favors. So can I find someone who wants to do me favors and just make the fucking poster?
oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like through your sire and the connections that you have in that particular avenue, since it is in the entertainment sector, you absolutely can do that.
Okay. Would I just like send a message like, Cole, give me a description of what you want.
So I want, you know, the gentleman like boxing thing, that image from like I don't know, like I don't know, 90s or 70s or whatever. That was a long time ago.
Are you talking about where they're like arched backwards a little bit?
Yeah, like the old dude, like the fisticuffs meme. I want that kind of style of an octopi with like an MMA brawler style Sasquatch.
I don't think you
So,
can like you cannot see my face, but I'm just looking at you with the most confused look, wondering what the fuck.
I think I got this.
see, the funny thing about this is, uh, Are you okay with it being a little bit more on the surrealist aspect of things?
I imagine it would have to be like that because it's a fucking octopus and a Sasquatch. I'm sure I have people in the art community that can definitely do that.
No, see that's why I'm asking because I do.
Yeah, yeah. I'm fine
Yeah.
with that. I would have the connections, I'm sure.
All right, so you're cool with that, Cole?
Yeah.
All right, so take note. There's a guy named Kenneth that runs the OK Hotel, which is actually an art gallery that literally does shit like that all the time. I did change his name, by the way.
Oh, this is a real person.
Yes, no, I've been friends with him since high school. I know exactly the motherfucker that, like, if you wanted this for real, I could call him up and be like, dog, get this for me. And I'm kind of half tempted to do it anyway.
Where did
Surrealism
you
is
post it?
fun. It is in the chat, voice chat. Isn't one of those pictures just a Pokemon?
Yes.
I see everything but Shaw posting.
In the voice chat?
Yeah. It still shows Saw as typing for me.
Because I hadn't posted that yet.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. I was like, the name Kenneth. Sounds about right. I probably would have given you
Yeah.
that name and been like, here you go. Have fun. Do you need anything else from me?
No, I think that's it.
Cool. Just tell Kenneth that I sent you. And yeah, no, I'll think of something for you to repay me.
Isn't capitalism a bitch?
Yeah. I'll get her a puppy.
No, thank you.
Okay. Let's go back to Solon and his book.
Huh. There's a lot of weird things in here, and I'm saying something coming from me.
Dude, man, no, there is. Holy shit, there is.
What all do I? What of a note? Anything? Mostly, I'm fervently looking through it, but I'm trying to find things related towards the cards and the La Sombra or anything of that nature.
So, specifically for the La Sombra, and this will also be coming from additional research, uh, you don't know La Sombra to you know La Sombra to use forms of shadow magic, but the kind of shadow magic that was displayed to you in your most recent encounter is it's different enough to pique your interest. In that it straight up felt like you weren't dealing with shadows, you were dealing it felt much more like you were dealing with solidified ink. Like if ink could be a non-Newtonian fluid, is very much what it was like. And so that kind of puts her out as a abnormal sort of La Sombra agent. Also, La Sombra don't tend to like to leave witnesses, and the fact that she didn't actually do all that much to you other than grapple with you and steal some information you didn't even know you had makes the entire situation considerably stranger. Um, actually,
The knowings of the unknown have not been known. but I need to know.
Trying to think. Okay. For I think it'll work. Let's do composure and or insight and composure.
Modify difficulty.
None. It's fine. Cool. Oh, Jesus. All right, man. I think that's actually our first like legitimate crit.
No, the first crit was when I cracked his knee.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, well, that's fair. So
And one was more funny.
one of the things that you do recall about the encounter is the smell, like something about everything, like everything was as you were expecting it to be, right? Like the aquarium smelled like an aquarium. There was a bit of a fishy scent with the clear identification that humans have been in this location. So the faint scent of human blood is still in there because that's just a thing that that vampires are capable of being able to interpret, right?
I got sent to the void again. Go ahead and keep going.
Bit of information. Additionally to all of that, you don't know vampires to be particularly good swimmers. So the fact that she took off to the ocean also kind of concerning. So do in doing your research and seeing that there are some level of occult activity that's been occurring in the rough area of the Puget Sound, especially having to do with the ocean, also kind of seems to track, and that might be painting the direction of what is influencing this Lasombra or what the Lasombra might be influencing.
Would I have, or she was grappled on me and everything. Would I have any of that substance? Because I haven't changed clothes or anything. Would I still have that on me?
If you check yourself out, you might.
Well, I'll go ahead and I'll see if I can find any of that on me. Because like, smell. I don't know the smells, but I know who knows smells. Smells. Our brew hall. Forget.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I was like, well, I know Luca's a Bruja, but yeah, no, it's Cole. Cole is the only other Bruja.
Find coal as fast as I can.
All right, Cole. What deep dark corner of the museum are you in?
Wherever I've set up to do recording and the remastering of the tracks and all the production stuff.
Okay, so right wing, bottom floor. Pretty easy for Solon to figure out where you are. So I'm not going to make you waste all that much time actually looking for him.
This gave a Scooby Doo around a little bit to find him, but when I get up to him, I'll be like, Colt, I need you to smell me. Smell me now before it goes away.
What?
And I'll run up and I'll rip my clothes off and hand him the shirt that right where it has the icky spot on it, and like shove it under his face. Smell, smell. It's the lady. We can track her. Smell.
I'm pretty sure I have nothing to do with scents.
Basically, he's trying to get you to sniff this to get the scent.
I am not a gangrel, dog. What the hell are you trying to do?
Oh, that's what I was. Man, it was Gangrel. Not true. It was Guri. He's our Gangrel, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I was
I'll
letting it
I'll
happen.
look at Cole really disappointed and be like, oh, oh.
I mean, if you want to leave some
I'm
of that
sorry.
stain here, if you want to leave some of that stain here, I'll try and run it through some equipment if we can find it. I'm sure. Yeah, Cammy. Uh, yeah, I think that's their name. I think they could probably help me. I I do know a bit about researching and figuring things out.
I'll suddenly start cheering back up, like, okay, you pick some. I'll take the rest to John. I'll take it to John.
I'm gonna look around. Do I have anything that would be like I could use as like a container for some of the scrapings off his shirt?
There's probably like a janitor bucket not too far away from you that's still left out.
All right. Yeah, I'll look for like maybe like a bit of a trash bag to scrape it onto, so it's not like got other contaminants already on it.
Yeah, that would definitely be included with. It's basically like a janitorial cart kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah. I'll grab like a bag off of that, scrape it into that. All right, go find Star Wars.
And Guri, you are still back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
All right. Then I'll save it for whenever John comes back on the rest of it, and then I'll just wander off and try to find him with the last bit of the scent.
Oh,
Okay, so where is John?
I guess like my precursor is I'm gonna send this text to again. I now realize Rem has a point. Lana's
You looking
character.
for me?
Yes. But before I like start heading up the stairs and stuff, I send you a text message asking you to look at something for me.
Okay.
So I guess I'm on my way to find Corin.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, where's Corin?
Dude, I don't even know where Cole found me. I'm assuming I'm like just fed and near the lobby area. Wherever it is Grady or Rachel summons us.
Yeah, that'd be the main lobby.
Yeah, I'll probably be there.
Okay, so John, you're definitely able to find her very quickly. You also can hear coming from the right wing a bit of a calamity occurring, locally contained calamity.
Do I hear basically the sound of a giant cockroach?
Yeah, something scurrying, random babbling. So, John, what would you like to do first between these two options and possible option C?
Why do I feel that option C is be a brick wall?
No, it's run.
No,
That seems like the best option.
no, I just go up to Corn and hand them the pack of playing cards with the
So many people asking me for favors today.
And you're gonna have to start charging by the hour.
I know, right? Gotta replace this painting supplies. Gonna be turning them into weapons. Uh, what do you need from me, John?
trying to like basically that's all I sent in text messages. Like, I guess, can you investigate something for me? And I know they have premonition, right? Like, because they publicly displayed it before.
You could definitely, at the very least, make the inference. I don't remember how public she made that, but it was definitely implied at the very least. So, extremely good guess, I would say, at minimum.
I guess as I hand the pack of cards, like, I guess the word I would choose is precognition. Like, that's all I say.
Okay. Is it in a box? Is it just like
It's just a pack of cards wrapped in cellophane with a smiley face on it in ink.
Yeah, so like if you were to walk into like a 7-Eleven and pick up one of those like packs of playing cards off the thing, it's that.
okay? And I'm assuming at this point the smiley face is super fucking smudged. It's been moved everywhere.
Depends on how I handle it. Actually, that's what curious me. So I kind of took care. So it's however smudged it came in on first inspection.
All right, so there's like a slight smudge from you picking it up and not knowing that it had a smiley face on it because it was on the back.
Yeah,
But other than that, it's rather pristine.
because
Okay.
that smiley face is concerning me out of character.
I guess I will roll a rouse check. Can I just click on the dice picture in my character sheet? Will that work?
Is that dice picture on your character sheet?
Yeah. It's like a dice. It says roll rouse check. The other is edit, show to chat, and delete under disciplines.
Oh, that's on a different tab that I was looking at. Yeah,
I can't promise anything. We'll see what happens. I got a success.
good job. It's a pack of playing cards wrapped in cellophane with a smiley face written in Sharpie on the back of it that's slightly smudged.
No vision or anything.
I mean, it's really tacky because it's a sports branded memorabilia object, but yeah, no, nothing other than that.
Yeah, I got nothing from these fucking cards. They're just cards. Whoever sent it to you might just be trolling you.
I nod. Just,
Premonition is a very interesting auspice.
like success. You know it's a pack of playing cards.
It's like rolling a fucking one in insight.
Also,
You
you
should
you
see.
you still haven't answered the question on uh, Discord.
Hey, right. So while I'm looking into that, at this point, this is when Solon would have caught up to you.
God, don't hit me! I swear, I have a teeth. Pieces, teeth smell, teeth.
Am I still here?
I assume so.
I'm just going to back away.
Like,
Bye.
I
Sound
like.
clip of the crack.
I just see you and just like open my hand, like gesturing for the cards back.
I put the piece of the cloth that I ripped off because right now I'm running in no shirt on and everything. I've ripped my clothes off almost. and I'm handing him the inky stay. I'm like, smell the lady, find a lady for us.
And with that, I'm gonna hand back the cards and be like, I want no part of this. Bye. Just to walk to a different part of the museum. Like, nope. Also, I will be right back. Something fell, and I need to go investigate where that's at.
So I'm putting it in hand. I'm telling you to smell it. What you doing?
I'm just staring at you like I don't think I have tracking like as one of my things that hold on. Where's my character sheet? This is token control.
I have no idea what Sense the Beast does off the top of my head.
Basically, I can tell if things are a threat around me. Like,
Okay.
basically, it's just like if something has ill intent, it's just like, what the fuck do you want? Not necessarily that they'll act on it, but
Okay, so you
Alright.
don't, out of character, you don't have anything that would help you trap.
I don't think so. If I can find my character sheet, I can take a look.
It's the second tab from the chat box. Actors.
Uh huh. Okay.
Or press C.
You could press C. That's also a viable option. Jeez.
Let me see. Uh, bu- 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 Presence of Beast. So if I use Sense of Beast on it, the only way it would work would be if that piece of thing that they're looking at me, throwing at me, is actually alive. I mean, I can, and if it's alive, we have a whole nother problem in this in this
I mean,
museum.
I'm not gonna tell you no.
Like, I'll use Sense the Beast on it. Let's see. I'm trying to see where it. Uh. Roll?
Okay, so like for shits and giggles, what actually is the material you ripped off?
Well, you said that it was like on my clothes, on my shirt or whatever, right?
Yeah, and like if you're wearing a jacket or something like that, like basically whatever's on your torso.
He just he did say he ran in shirtless.
Right.
Normal
But
cotton shirt.
oh, okay, cool. I'm not gonna make you actually roll it. It's not alive. But if it was gonna be like that he like tore off a piece of like his leather jacket or something like that, I was gonna go into a cow joke. But
No, I was like, keep it, keep it. You might find it useful. This is from the lady that took the things that we need to know that we don't know. You know?
now another thing you could do in this situation, because he was talking about sniffing it and shit like that, is you can give it a good whiff, and I can make you roll for that. But also, that would be sniffing something that was directly in contact with Solon. So that's up to you.
Right? Like, I have eyes, not nose.
I'm gonna give it the crazy look like you owe me.
I just put the shirt away, and I'll be like, hmm. Like, I'll look into it.
You do. I'll go back to the book and find more of the secrets of the octopus lady.
All right. So then let's see here. What I want, Solon, since you're going back to the book. We're gonna do academics intelligence. Okay, not bad. It also seems to detail that there is, uh, at least there is a writing of a long time ago, a a group of people who tended to stick to the forest decided to start moving closer to the Puget Sound and increase their hunting grounds, and encountered what are identified in this book as cultists. And they had tattoos on their arms specifically that looked kind of like octopus tentacles. But it doesn't go into much more detail than they had a big ass fight, and it ended up making the people who were from the forest retreat back to the forest, and they were left alone after that.
Okay. I'll wait till some other people go and maybe bring that up when more people are around.
Okay. So let's see. Between Cammy and Kian, which one of you would like to go next?
Eh, sure.
Okay. I figured there was like talking chicken going on here.
I was seeing.
No, I mean, in character, I could have left it for a while, but I figured it's probably better to keep things moving. Um, yeah, I don't really have anything specific I'm doing, but if I'm paying attention to people, I'd probably. I mean, I know that Cole said he was going to check with me on something, and that Solon is running around like a crazy person without a shirt on. But specifically, I don't think I'm actively doing anything at the moment, which is part of why I was delaying answering.
Okay, fair enough. What about you then, Kian?
From my standpoint, I actually am doing a little bit of research around pubs and bars around the waterfront area downtown that you were talking about.
Right?
Kind of curious to see what's there, see what's available, like what's up for sale, what's busy, what's not, what's going on.
Okay. I will give you a list of some possibilities in a little bit.
Yeah, I didn't expect you to have it. No, I want you to do it right now.
I mean, listen, I could, but it's going to be real boring. But yeah, I can definitely provide you with a list. So, are you looking for like just pubs or like other entertainment venues as well?
Just entertainment venues overall, I think.
Okay, that sounds good because there's quite a few. So, way too many.
Yeah.
It's funny enough, it's kind of like Starbucks, where like every street corner in Seattle is basically there's a Starbucks and then a music venue and then a fashion booth and then like some restaurant from a different country that has nothing to do with America at all, and then another Starbucks.
There might also be some combination of any of those.
Yeah, like there might be a music like in between all of that, the music venue that's next to the Starbucks might also have a Starbucks in it.
I mean, the studio I interned at in Seattle was by the baseball stadium, and also like right next to it was a strip club.
Yep.
And across from there was the news station.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right?
So you drop your wife off at the baseball game, you go to the strip club, and you leave your kid at the I don't know.
News outlet? Like, where are you going with this?
I mean, my grocery
Seattle's
store,
interesting, all right.
my grocery store that has a Starbucks and it has a Starbucks across the street.
Yeah, we have a couple of those here too.
Yeah.
It sounds like so we have a local gas station here, Stewart's. We have Stewart's that are across the street from Stewart's, like on two corners on the same side. So it's not even like you're trying to get across traffic to one. I do not understand it.
There is a convenience store in the town I lived in Oregon called Dairy Mart. It is basically like a small town 7-Eleven. And the town I lived in had two traffic lights and two Dairy Marts, and you could literally throw a baseball and hit the other one.
Well, okay. On that note of ridiculousness, because I could absolutely share way more instances of all of that. Because there's quite a few. Actually, one very similar to what Rem just described too with Johnson's, which is also, if you're not aware, a like convenience store, gas station kind of thing. It's also the only place you could buy Fago on the West Coast. Anyway, we are at a little bit over the halfway mark, so let's go ahead and take 10. Be back at 45. Sound good?
Sounds good. Alrighty.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right.
Mhm.
Anyone here? Alright.
So, let's see here. All right. While all of that stuff has been going on, yet again, like normal, Rachel's shown up. She's kind of just been watching Solon run around like a goofus this entire time. Um, she's just kind of sitting around, not really doing anything, not really making eye contact with anybody, but she's there. She doesn't look like particularly dangerous to approach if you wanted to talk to her, but she just seems like she's kind of hanging out. In addition to that, just to recap a little bit of information, you guys did find out that um, it seems like Liliana is returning back to Magnolia since she had come from that direction in the past, and now she seems, according to what Cammy's figured out, she went back into Magnolia from the aquarium. So that is just back on people's minds for that particular topic. It might be something you guys want to deal with. However, if you want to do it the proper way, you would need to somehow get a hold of either through Grady or yourselves, get in contact with Baron LaRosa, uh, basically to say, hey, we plan on going in this direction. Are you cool with that? If you want, a further respectful route, or you can just go and hope that that's not a problem.
Didn't Grady say that he was going to contact La Rosa?
That is correct, yes. But you also haven't actually talked to Grady in a little bit, so.
When was the last time we talked to him?
Was before the aquarium, if I remember correctly, because that was part of the reason you were going to the aquarium. Or at least there was you were following who Liliana, basically. He had gone to fuck off to talk to Baron LaRosa.
Okay.
Since Rachel's one of our key ways to get a hold of Grady, semi-officially, might be good to talk with her about things. Although saying where Liliana's from might not be the best plan, saying that directly to Rachel.
This is because of her phone.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention because Luca did actually bring her a new phone. She was sitting there just kind of doom scrolling on her phone.
Not playing that game anymore? The gotcha?
It doesn't seem like it currently. So what do you guys want to do?
If no one else is doing anything, then I'll be absolutely socially inept like I'm supposed to be and just go and tell her that we're pretty sure that Liliana is from Magnolia. Or at least hanging out there.
I'm gonna need a little bit of information, not from you, but how would I go about sending something to my private security firm?
Like shipping something to them?
Yeah.
Be able to talk to the ghouls and get something shipped. Wouldn't be too terribly difficult.
Yeah. Like, basically, I'd find something to put the remains of the shirt in and just be like, can you send it here? Like, because I wasn't sure if you wanted me, like, to tell the ghouls to, like, put it someplace specific or just straight to the security firm. Kind of like a dead drop, or just go directly there.
Oh yeah, no, that's something the ghouls can absolutely take care of. Like they've got like shipment boxes and stuff like that back in storage. They can label it up for you and take care of it. It won't get to them until the next night, but they can absolutely take care of that for you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then so Cammy, you're just walking up to her and just like, hey, so Juliana's in Magnolia. Is that basically what we're going with?
Yeah. And then saying, Grady pays our bills. Would he want us to just go after her, or does he want to talk to La Rosa about it?
Okay. So, um, her knuckles get white a little bit, but she otherwise maintains her composure. Um, she does not look back up at you, but what she does say is that uh, if we're just visiting and we're not actually conducting business necessarily, it, we're on pretty good terms with La Rosa, so it should be okay that we don't need to like ask for permission to go into her territory. But if we want to do something a bit more than that, um, we should probably do that. Also, Grady got completely distracted from talking to La Rosa in the first place because the prince reached out to him and apparently, and he's setting up where the uh, the appointment for the new sheriff is going to be. So he said that he was probably going to talk to you guys about um, basically helping him check the area, making sure everything was kosher and not a setup, basically.
Is this something he's looking for us to do now, or is that why you're here tonight?
I'm here because I don't want to be there. He didn't give me like a timeline. He just asked me to relay that information to you guys. That he's probably going to be contacting you soon about it.
So we're just generally more entertaining. And
Yes,
then
considerably.
I visibly look over at Solus, who still probably is shirtless.
I just was getting ready to say, uh, if I've noticed people have started gathering up, I'll be probably coming in mumbling to myself while reading the book, like tentacles. The people of the forest, they had the tentacle. I'll take the book and I'll hold it up and I'll probably show the symbol that's on the in the book.
Where did you get that?
Oh, this came as a secret in the night that Santa Claus the books brought it to me.
The Santa
Wouldn't that
Claus
just
of
be regular Santa Claus?
books? I just shake my head and turn around. It's
I'm
like,
assuming it's from my sire, is who the book's from, right?
That's correct. Yes.
Yeah, so he's the Santa Claus of books.
okay.
Is
Yeah,
Fusion
Santa
everyone
Claus one
has.
of us?
Oh no.
I haven't found anything about that one before, but it's not something I've looked into.
Is Santa Claus one of us? Jesus Christ.
Sorry, my headset cut off. There it was. Well, her come back to the Santa Claus one of us.
So is he the patron saint of destitute books? I mean, I guess he lives in the library, so yeah, the books that rent themselves out, that makes sense.
Oh, Santa Claus of books brings the gifts of knowledge and the gifts of weirdness. He brought them to me, and he gave them to me just like Santa Claus does on Christmas.
I look back at
Well,
Rachel. I'm like, I see why you come here.
Yeah. It was mildly entertaining.
I, if I didn't have to live this, I probably would come here for the entertainment.
if we want to do a like drive through of the Magnolia area, I don't think that would be a bad idea. Staying on the move, we could avoid a confrontation if that seems likely, but keep an eye out for anything interesting.
Is there something like specific we're looking for there? That's a in character.
I
Like,
mean, we know she went there. If we had some way to track her, I might be able to get some locals to help a bit.
I scraped some of the sludge off of Solus's shirt. We might be able to figure out what it is, maybe.
Did John send that to the his agency already, or?
No, he has his own supply.
He scraped some.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
everybody's got a piece of Solus.
Yeah, Solus got me confused with John. I'm not really sure. I feel like we're very different. I also reach into the compartment on one of my guitar cases and pull out one of my mesh shirts that I've worn on stage and throw it at Solus. So it's just a fishnet shirt, but it's at least a shirt.
Totally put that on.
He'll
This
fit
is not an
right in
improvement.
Seattle. Fine.
It's like the uniform here.
It's fine. He'll fit in.
Like, I'm pretty sure there's like excess work clothes and stuff. No, let's go with the mesh shirt.
Yeah, right.
Um,
He
Like,
probably has other clothes. Let's give him a Met shirt.
A gift shop with
it is.
museum.
I am not
I really
actually banking on
doubt
him
that
having
Solon
extra
having a
clothes.
yeah. I really
There,
doubt Solon would have another shirt.
There's a
in a
gift shop in
there's
here,
probably a sweatshirt in there that says Seattle.
right?
Like,
If I can steal sunglasses, he can steal a shirt from the gift shop.
It's
oh,
nice and breezy, though. I like it.
I don't know if I could figure out what the stuff is that you scraped, but I can get some animal help to see if they can track it down if it still smells strong enough.
Tammy and Shaw. Are there cameras in Magnolia in general? Would it be possible to try and track her down through those cameras?
I'd already failed uh, on after she got out there because it's a big park and there's not a whole lot of cameras in the park.
My other concern is that La Rosa, along with her boy toy, were at Magnolia for most of the night, and then she left him there at the entrance. So, and I'm pretty sure that she might be someone that hangs around La Rosa's territory. That is, Liliana hangs around her territory. So, I don't know if we'll run into La Rosa and her boy toy. Are we prepared for that?
La
if we're
Rosa
doing
or her
nothing
boy toy.
wrong, we're sorry. Go ahead, John.
That was the whole sentence.
Oh, I.
What was
If
the
we're
sentence? I didn't hear it at all.
When she asked if we're prepared for that, I asked La Rosa or her boy toy.
Both, because let's be fair. We don't know what's going to set anyone off, whether it's their egos, their self entitlement, whatever it may be. Cause
with
for
the
offense could be the smallest fucking thing.
with the group of people that we are, and I look around, we will offend somebody.
That
It's
is
a
fair.
foregone conclusion.
Just everyone stares at Solus.
I stay there grinning back, just like, oh, they're paying attention to me finally.
Well, I could go with some of this scrapings and just really quickly, I'd probably get some seagulls on it because if you didn't know, seagulls actually have a really good sense of smell. And see if they can figure out where in the area this is strongest, and then that's it. Seagulls show up there naturally. They're pretty common in the park, and just have to ask them to do it, and then get out of there. We
Quick
don't
question.
have to worry about offending too much. I could hang out there and hide a bit if we don't want to leave birds unattended, but I'm open to other thoughts.
Quick question, kind of out of character. Who's our tech person again?
Me,
What character are you again?
Cammy,
Alright.
tech didn't help out too much, which is why I'm going with this. Also, out of character, I know that Rem mentioned I might be able to help with that, but like it sounds like a job for like a mass spectrometer, and although I'm good with technology, that's a bit more specialized than I would be able to handle.
Well, I mean, honestly, if you get me into a room with one, I can do it myself.
Shaw.
I mean, again, with you having academics, you'd probably be able to get in there easier without my help.
That's fair.
I mean, I might be able to sneak in there. Sorry.
Do you know where one
Okay.
is? Do you know where one is that I could maybe try and get in?
At the U district, probably is best one in the area.
If that
What's the
requires
U
that,
district?
U
The
district is where
university.
like university is.
That makes sense.
All right.
I'm
Sorry for keep cutting you off, Corey.
You're good. I was gonna ask if I could grab the scraping and do premonition to see if I can get a vision of Liliana.
Yeah, totally. But you're gonna have to roll for it.
Yep. Success.
Cool. Good for you. You get a vision of Liliana.
What is she doing? Where is she at?
She currently seems like, because you can't necessarily see what's like everything around her is kind of a blur, but it looks like she's kind of like hunkered down and going through something, like she's looking for something. And where she is seems damp.
Seems damp. Okay. So, I don't know where Liliana is, but based off the scraping of whatever the fuck this is, she is somewhere damp and she is hunkered down there looking at, I don't know, books, maybe?
books?
Nope. Nope.
Nope.
If
tablets.
if we're going to try and find a closer spot to find her, especially by smell, I don't think it's a good idea for Solon to be around if the stuff smells like him from his shirt.
That is completely fair.
I could disappear, even in my smell.
You can do that?
Just because you can disappear does not mean you can stop smelling.
Yeah, I'm
No,
pretty
I
sure.
believe actually in my abilities I can they can
No,
detect
no.
my scent.
Whether you can or not, that is what. That's what he said. it, irrelevant, regardless of your actual ability.
Are you
So
just saying he stinks?
I hit a
Yes.
button on my phone and it does the badum but instead of the it's the sound of the crack.
You will never live that crack down.
I feel the slight throbbing in my knee.
Well, all right, we probably shouldn't split up because last time we split up, you left me to do sound recordings and y'all got fucked up.
No, only one person got fucked up.
Yeah, and it wasn't even by a bad guy. I mean, John.
I hand Solon the bottle of the can without the wrapping on it.
I mean, the only one who got injured that night was Solon, so I would say we all did fine.
Wow.
So you handed me
Wow.
the bottle of what?
Energy drink.
It's called Nos.
Okay. I popped the top and I just start chugging it back then.
Because that's what he needs.
Why would you do this to us?
I mean, if he's not equipped to handle drinks, then this could end badly.
By the way, no, I'm not. I don't think I am. I think my humanity's too low.
Oh,
Does
this is
this
just
energy
getting.
drink really have a lot of caffeine in it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Specifically Nos? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like one of the
This-
worst, isn't it?
It's pretty
Up
damn
there.
close, yeah.
It's I think like it's up there with like Rockstar.
I mean,
Yeah,
Bang
I've
is pretty
got
bad as well.
Yeah.
4
Well, I mean,
humanity.
okay, let's start with what's a good one.
Tea? The ones that have tea based?
Yeah.
160 milligrams of caffeine.
Have fun with that.
Why did you give
So
Our-
he's going to be sick and hyper. Fantastic.
you drank it, right?
Oh yeah, I've chugged it back even though I know I shouldn't have.
Wait, also, do you even have the thing that lets you drink like
That's
human
the
stuff?
thing is I want to know. I don't know the rule. My humanity's only at a 4.
No, you cannot. You
What
are going to
happens if he
throw up.
drinks it?
Yeah, no, it's coming back up.
Oh no!
Like a hyperactive cat.
I go and stand behind Rachel.
I'm
I
gonna
would
take
have
these
run away.
scrapings over to U District and try and see if I can get into a mass spectrometer.
I'll go with him. I'm gonna run away
I'll
from
just
this.
look at John really curiously and like, oh no, it's coming, and then just.
The sound effect just made that.
All right. I forget. Where's Calmine right now? Calmine? Calmine?
Cammy?
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 Yes. The one that's spelled that doesn't sound like Cammy?
Yeah, Caoimhe.
Yep, that's Cammy.
Where are they?
Just because no one knows how to pronounce it, except for probably Kian.
So, and you said Cammy's our tech, or
Yes.
okay? I go over to Cammy, and like I have my phone open to the Gotcha app, and you know where there's like a place to enter codes and stuff like that. I ask him like, and where's like fine for me, like this with the thing open. Like,
I have already looked up 3 of the codes for this month and enter them for you without having to do anything extra, and then hand the phone back.
I just like nod and thank you.
Man, what I wouldn't do for that in real life.
I mean, most of the time you can, you just Google it.
Yeah.
And Cammy would totally be the kind of person like people were talking about a game and be like, look it up, be like, all right, cool, here's some codes. So that was done when Rachel gave the link to John.
Okay, so
I just want to
we
emphasize
just
this is a
heading off to
dog.
the U district.
Either that or we're splitting up.
I thought about heading to U District. Yes. With Bull.
Because I still feel like Magnolia's a better option. But if the scrapings, I forget. Did you already do something with the shirt? Am I
I gave
aware of that you have in the shirt?
I sent it off to the. I don't know if you're aware, but yeah, I
Okay.
gave it to a ghoul to send off to the company.
Cool. So since Cole's in charge of the scrapings at the moment, then I guess we're doing that because I don't have any to take with me to go elsewhere.
All right, so is everybody on board for that?
Works for me.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Cool, going on a field trip.
That's the dog. He found the chip I dropped.
Didn't hear it
Okay.
this time.
It's significantly not as loud chip.
So, what are we looking for specifically in the U district?
A place with a mass spectrometer.
Science building
You know,
on the actual campus.
most museums actually have their own science department as well, depending on the museums. Is there one in
Not
our
this
museum?
museum.
Okay.
Not that kind of museum.
I mean, even natural history museums sometimes have it. If they have some type of research.
We'd probably be better going off to the Pacific Science Center, which is aimed at children, than what's at
So-
Mohai.
Yeah, that's pretty true. But also, the Department of Medicinal Chemistry absolutely does have a mass spectrometry. It has one. It's got a whole fucking center, apparently, dedicated to it. It's actually kind of interesting that it specifically has this shit. So yeah, now you just gotta break into the university.
How hard can that really be?
I mean, it's a bunch of caffeine-addled drug addicts, so pretty
And
fucking easy.
I was gonna say, so
And-
it's like
And then there's the college students.
That's what he's
Yeah,
saying.
they're probably not even gonna like care.
yeah, there's probably going to be people in the building doing work at this time of night.
Yeah.
They won't care.
So, I guess, are you going in quiet or are you going in loud?
Just let me talk to him.
No.
Loud, got it.
No.
I don't know. There's a certain amount of that would be entertaining.
He probably would come off as a normal student.
That is fair. That is fair. We
Okay,
can make him talk.
so
I don't feel like talking.
He can. We should go in quiet, realistically. Like we do not need any more publicity.
I would say like our method should be the quiet but confident, if that makes sense. Like we belong there, but we're not like announcing or anything.
Yeah, makes sense.
When we get there,
But we should
I'll
send
be-
Solon in to a different building.
Yes,
Like send him to the art studio.
someone should probably go with him.
Cole.
You wanna
Maybe
see
someone will recognize him.
Cole's the one who's doing the work.
Ah. Is he?
I
Yeah.
think John. You guys need to bond.
I mean, I broke his knee and poisoned him, so why not? But in character wise, where is everyone going?
The university district.
Well, what? I know that much. I mean, who's going where? Here, doggo.
Well, they don't want me around, so I'm gonna just make myself. Or try to make myself disappear.
I mean, they've got a big library.
Oh, books.
That's actually a really good point. They have a really good library there.
Mm-hmm. Cammy actually went to school there as part of the backstory, so this is something that she would be aware of.
Yeah, the random person
The
crawling
library
out.
is named after Can.
Yeah, some random person crawling around the bookshelves wouldn't seem out of place.
I guess if they want me to go somewhere else, I'll go and look up to see if there's any more pagan books in the library.
Okay. You're definitely going to find a bit of that. Curiously, in the fiction section, but also a few books in the religious section.
I'll probably start with the religious section, honestly. Specifically folks focusing on any cults of the local area.
Interesting. That link you sent us, one of the publications is using an instrument that I used to fix when I worked for Lehman Labs.
Huh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. When I actually went to college for science originally, and through nepotism, my uncle got me a job working as a tech for a company that makes analytical chemistry equipment.
It's actually pretty neat.
Mhm. It's actually how I got to travel all over the place when I was young, before I got into doing what I do now.
Holy shit! It sounds like a quest just getting to the mass spectrometry center. There's an okay, I'm at the Health Sciences building. Now what? From the north side, you should enter the building at the Rotunda Cafe entrance, which is near the westernmost overhead walkway over Pacific. After you enter the building, you will walk to the right side of the cafe, seating towards the K-Wing sign. Just as you leave the cafeteria area, you will see a stairway on your right. Go down the stairs and at the bottom, go left, and through the doors marked H-Wing. The Mass Spec Center will be on your right. And then there's directions from other sides, and it's just like, holy shit, guys.
Dude, yeah, no, it does. It feels like I'm reading how to complete a quest at a questie instead of the actual quest log in WoW. And it's just like a 37 step pick up your bare ass and then go back to the quest giver.
But you have to get 10 bear asses, and not every bear has an ass.
Right, yeah.
All right.
But
So,
you did find that last zebra hoof.
From the quest you
how do,
dropped because you never got the fucking thing.
how
Right.
do they not have hooves? I have never understood that. They should have 4. Realistically, though, game wise, I was going to say that it would make sense for at least me, probably Cole and Kian, to go for the mass spectrometry. Because if it comes to it, we can always try to say like, "Hey, we're doing look around if Kian wants to donate some money to the university because he's the kind of guy who would do that."
Yeah, that's it.
I'm not trying to
Okay.
exclude anyone else. I'm just saying that this group should definitely have us. I can probably figure out how to work the mass spectrometer if necessary, and at least get us past some small security things. Security electronics.
Okay, so where's everybody going?
I'll
Sounds
keep
like
an
I'm
eye
going
on
with Cole.
Solon.
Okay, so we've got at least Cole, Kian, and Cammy going to the mass spectrometer. And then, Corin, what did you say you were going to?
I'm gonna keep an eye on Solon.
Okay. And so then you and Solon are off to the library.
Yeah, I guess
What about John?
I'm going with Solon.
Okay. In the library, we'll start there because that's the relatively simple one. Well, so far, you guys can make things very complicated very quickly. So specifically, the research that you're looking for about like the cults, you do find a little bit extra information from what uh, what you were reading before about the group of people trying to expand their territory towards the ocean, but there seemed to be like this gathering of people that basically fought them off, right? And they had the tentacle tattoos. And you find out that they were originally from the San Juan Islands up in the Strait of Juan de Fuca, which is north of the actual Puget Sound itself. It's what feeds into the Puget Sound from the Pacific Ocean. And so there's a bunch of islands up there called the San Juan Islands, and that's apparently where they originate from. And they've been here for as long as the records have shown, about as long as there have been settlers in the Seattle area.
So, in a striking moment of lucidity, I am going to basically retell everything you just said in very calm, very lucid tones. It's like almost out of body ish type say the way I'm talking. And then once I get done, and now you see the tentacles. They come from the water. They reach to the forest, and the forest don't like them.
The forest doesn't what?
Forests don't like the tentacles. The tentacles come and fight off the ones from the forest, and the tentacles are coming for us.
I would like to clarify these are the books from the religious section.
What is the forest he's talking about?
So basically, the book I got from my uh, sire detailed a bunch of stuff, and it also told about a cult uh, from people that was trying to expand from the forest that got cut off by people who wore tentacle tattoos. And and then I related everything he said in shocking lucidity to y'all, and then that just went away.
And to clarify about the fortress, or the fortress, the forest, the majority of the area that Seattle occupies and the surrounding suburbs used to basically just be a gigantic forest.
So basically, what I'm getting from it, at least, is there was a forest from the water that fought off the people that was expanding from the forest, and those people who fought them off had tentacle tattoos. Would that
This
be a
can
pretty good
sound real
summary of it?
dumb, but are there
Yes,
pictures in this book?
Actually, it makes
there
sense to me.
is a picture of one of the tattoos, and it looks like um, the tattoos that kind of wrap around the arm. They're not terribly detailed, right? Because these are very primitive tattoos, all things considered, and white people did them, so they're even less
Wait,
detailed.
Can I
So,
say except
listen, if you look back historically, white people are really bad at tattooing until we invented technology to do it better. Um, anyway, the tattoos, I'm not going to make you roll anything for this because it's kind of obvious, but they match a similar design to what's on the playing cards.
I'm gonna take a picture of the book. I also want the name of the book so that I can see if we can get a PDF of version of it online.
Okay, I'll send that to you in just a minute. Mostly because I have to find the book name.
what, Gravy? What? What you want? Yes, I know it's hot in here.
Okay, found it. Okay. Is there anything else that you guys want to look into in the library? Otherwise, I'm going to move over to the other group.
Nah, I'm just making my typical scene as I stack books and look at more books and more and more.
We're
Okay.
just watching him.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So let's move over to Kian, Cammy, and Cole. So as you guys are walking through, to cover the library, like there was zero resistance whatsoever. There are people in the library, but they're just studying really late. Nobody really bothers to even pay attention to you. You guys are fine. Somewhat of a similar deal going towards the actual laboratory that you're going to find the mass spectrometer in, where there are people who are still working, probably for like research and stuff like that, like between students trying to learn how some of this stuff works, so that they can get their assignments in on time, or also people legitimately working because it's their job to be here, right? So nobody really pays you guys any mind necessarily, since the three of you tend to walk with at least a certain level of confidence, or at least knowing, in the case of Cami, because they've been here before, or at least been on campus before, maybe not necessarily here.
And I feel like
So
all three of us have at least been on campuses before.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah,
I would
it's like
actually like
McDonald's.
I'd actually like to have cast Unseen Passage before we go in. Just I would do that,
Okay,
which
fair enough.
that's a rouse check. So
Yeah,
does that actually roll?
It did. You're not
it
gonna
Damn,
did,
like
and
it.
you failed.
cool. All right. I mean, that just raises my hunger too, so I'm not too concerned over it.
All right. You feel a little bit of a pang in the back of your throat. A little bit more of some saliva generation, but otherwise, like you're still pretty in control.
Cool.
But either way, you cast Unseen Passage.
Yeah,
It's
I would have said something
considerably.
to them beforehand and be like, make sure you leave doors open for a sec when you walk through, so I can go through them too.
Cole immediately slams the door.
I envision it being like electronic doors.
Yeah, that one
Actually,
is actually
yeah.
pretty important because I am invisible to electronic observation.
The other thing is, most of the major doors are probably electronic at this point, so you're basically going to have to be mindful about yourself as much as they're going to have to be mindful of you.
Yeah. Like I don't care if
Uh,
we're not expecting anything. I'm still going in like this because I'm paranoid.
right, absolutely. Okay, so you guys basically have a ghost haunting you as you guys proceed through the very obnoxious instructions that I'm assuming Cami provided you, because it would be very hard considering that she's casted unseen passage for her to lead you through the campus. But
I can
you
still
get
whisper.
there with, yeah, fair enough. But either way, you end up getting there relatively easily, other than it being a little confusing to get there. Nobody bothers you. Nobody's really paying attention to you. Even the security guard that you do pass at the front is passed out. So, eh. You do eventually get yourself there. Now, what would you like to do there?
So I want to run some scans on the substance to try and identify what it is, and if there are elements that can help us figure out where more narrow down more where she's staying.
Okay. You're going to roll for me. Um, Academics and intelligence.
That was not the meat I was intending.
With just in case you haven't done it yet, with a difficulty of what is it? 1 second. Difficulty of 3. Cool. Okay. You slam your hands and fist into the machine until it works. After loading it all up, somehow it dings like a toaster oven. When it's all done, it does take a certain amount of time. I don't know how this fucking thing works. All right, I'm just making up shit. As clearly, gives you a readout, and other than the possibly illicit materials that Solon has rolling around in and or secreted, the ink is it. How do I describe it? It doesn't show up as anything easily identifiable. Like, there's a lot of documentation and computer systems nearby that you could run a basically a reference check through to look and basically I'm just going to assume that you're cross comparing at this point. If you want to roll again, we can do that, but for right now it doesn't look like it matches anything that's currently on record. It's similar to a few things, like it's similar enough to just normal plant ink, but it's also similar to like squid ink, for example, or octopus ink, but it's not exactly the same.
Yeah.
And there doesn't happen to be any like materials that would be
It's not so much
pointing in a direction like, oh, this is the type of this is like a soil sample from like this part of the sound or anything like that.
Most of the stuff there is going to be kind of hard to determine to separate based off of you're pretty much assuming he hasn't washed any of his clothes since before he turned into a vampire. There is evidence of local soil sample, so he's probably rolled around in some trash somewhere, uh, like
Yeah.
probably actually before you got here, but nothing that like specifically points you in one direction. Like it basically points you in every direction. Is what I'm trying to get across.
All right, so it's Mystic Ink. Uh, it's not animal or plant, but it's very close to both. Um, you know, being an academic researcher and a mystical creature, it's kind of mind melting some days. Um, so it looks like this was a dead end, plain and simple. Um, we're probably better off just taking this and letting the seagulls have a whiff. Just kind of frustrating.
Okay, now I'm not sure if that'll even work. If I'm not mistaken, mass spectrometers like wipe off the outer layer of stuff, so that might make it more smelly, but possibly less smelly.
They do. Actually, Kian wouldn't know that at all. He knows nothing. He's sitting in the back, like just kind of laughing.
Might end up with her getting stabbed repeatedly, but she is never going to strike first. It's just.
I mean, I'm still willing to try. Just
who she is.
now
I
we gotta
feel
get
like,
over to the other side of.
yeah. Well, that sucks.
Just to point out,
You know, and
that the image that I'm currently uploading right now, that's what I was going off of to figure out how the fuck this thing works. And like, if you want me to talk about how propulsion works, I'm there. I can walk you through the whole damn process and bore you for the next 2.5 months straight. But the second we start talking about this stuff, me big dumb.
I mean, I swear to God, Billy can't hit a barn if he's.
I mean, like, out of character, I know that they
So
ionize the outer layer,
so
but
it
I don't know how that would affect how well a seagull can smell it and track it down.
so depending on the type of mass spec you're using, like what you've shown there is what the how they measure. So that's like the the thing that we're not talking about is probably the most important that Cammy is or that Cammy's talking about right now is are we using something like ICP, inductively coupled plasma, where you heat shit up to the temperature of the sun and launch it into this thing? Or are we doing something else? Or like because that's what makes the difference, right? Regardless, you like the full sample will be destroyed. There's almost no except for like solid specs that don't eat everything.
Well, my question is, did you put all of what we had in there?
I wouldn't have done that because I would have
Yeah,
wanted
because you would have
some
known
of
better. Like,
yeah. As a
like
researcher, I would have known better.
Oh my crap!
So next thing that I posted, I absolutely didn't do my homework. So I don't know anything about the sample preparation either.
well, yeah, like there's no expectation that you would. I mean,
So yeah, I wouldn't have put all of it in there. I would have kept some to the side to make sure that we still had samples if this didn't pan out.
Instead of Roxwell, we all die.
Yeah.
Pteranodon falls. Pteranodon dies.
My headphones died, so I apologize if sound quality sucks now.
Actually, it's better now.
yeah, as I
At
say,
least for me.
you're way clearer all of a sudden.
Well,
All right, well, let's take what we got left and get the seagulls to bloodhound it up. This is science and mystical creatures. Fucking.
I, I I love the fact that we are talking about literally having like seagulls chase this. This is awesome.
I mean, we did this.
You know, we tried the science side of it. Now we get to go for the mysticism because at this point, I don't fucking know.
I
I
mean,
just think it's awesome.
seagulls aren't mystical.
as far as you know,
I'm currently
Listen, man.
having a conversation with our invisible friend about using seagulls as bloodhounds. I need you to.
Oh my god.
What are you talking about? That's an entirely normal conversation.
We don't.
okay. To
I
be fair,
don't know.
raise of hands. How many of us expected to try to figure out how a mass spectrometer worked today?
Pretty
so
sure none of us.
so this is our game today. We start off with Vampire Shark Tank. We move on to how do mass specs work.
To go right into seagull bloodhounds.
Yeah.
All right.
It's
That I
normal, guys. It's
that
fine.
I want to point out these seagulls you can blow up with rice.
What?
You've never seen the
If
videos
you
of that?
Yeah,
yeah, if you
No, I
feed a
don't.
seagull too much, they will explode in
that
ways you don't want to know about. Really,
yes,
All
all
right.
types of
Well,
matter in
they
that
can't
one.
process it. Anyway,
let's get out of here before the security guard actually like decides to take notice of the fact that there's two of us in here and three of us talking.
You know, he's got someone talking to himself running around the library. I'm pretty sure this is probably the low point of his night.
so also, according to the website, this one specifically uses ionization. I don't know how much that matters.
Helps.
I just found that nugget of information.
Um, well, I guess it really depends on your decision as to the GM.
So I basically just superheated a bunch of black flecks and
Yes, yeah.
whatever illicit material that Solon has been running around in, and shot it through a fucking machine like a tiny mass rail, and got dick.
Sounds like a productive
Yeah.
day.
That sounds all right.
I am now slightly more interested in this machine. But yes, basically, yeah. That's a pretty
Cool.
good summary.
So glad I took points in academics.
I mean, listen, it's good that you did because I certainly didn't. At least not here.
Yeah, let's just get out of here. This is disappointing to a level that I'm not willing to cope with right now.
I forgot that I also took points in academics. Mine is all related to history, that should be related to like art history, though.
I put no points in academics. A little bit in performance, a lot in intimidation.
I mean, you could have used your academic stuff in the library.
I could have, but we also.
We had someone
I
running
took the
around.
book. I have to translate what fucking Solon is saying.
I was just going to say, if you wasn't going to take the book, I was going to take the book.
I say we go head over to the library and pick up the babysitters and
The baby.
yeah.
Baby.
So, I actually noticed something kind of interesting is that there's a pretty even split with the when it comes to the academics. Is that there are three of you that have several points. Like, actually, I think all of you have at least 3 points into academics. Yeah, all three of you, Corin, Kian, and Cole, all have 3 points in academics, and then Solon has one. John and Cami have 0. So three of you are book smart, three of you are not.
And I
Well,
have a specialization in academics as a master's in research.
Right.
well, I have also a specialty in Grimoires, though, for a cult. So I have some knowledge.
Um, mine
I
is in
mean,
finance, so
My occult knowledge is way above my book smarts.
I do have 3 points in investigation, so even if I don't know stuff, I can usually try and figure it out.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not trying to like come down on anybody. I just thought it was interesting that there's an even split on that
Yeah,
specific one.
I know, man.
That's pretty cool. Okay, anyway, all right, so you guys are able to get over to the library. Similar deal. You pass the guard away. He's still passed out. Um,
To
yeah,
make
and
myself
then
feel better, I'm gonna draw a mustache on the guard.
okay. Let's see here. Where is your check sheet? There it is. All right, so okay, I'm gonna justify the streetwise thing in here is that you've probably done this to like some of your bandmates when they've been drunk at like some kind of like club or whatever, and that's why I'm going with streetwise with your dexterity. No difficulty. All right, so the first one, right, with your dominant hand going in that direction, it goes perfectly fine. The second one, it's a little off. You almost poke him in the nose a little bit, and you kind of like pause because he like snorts and like jitters a little bit, and then he goes right back into snoring and allows you to finish drawing the second half of the mustache.
There's gonna be some kid that's gonna be in trouble tomorrow.
Good, fuck them.
Don't fuck kids.
No.
These are college students. They're all of age. It's fine.
Like,
they're all doing
Talking
it
about
anyway.
college students.
you know, I held
Unless
back
they
on that
skip a
one
grade.
too. I was just like,
Unless
don't
they
say
skipped a
it.
grade.
Stop making this worse, Lana.
Stop
I mean,
helping.
it.
They're
I
not.
skipped
They're
through
not
college
Doogie
at
Howser.
17, so
All right.
Moving on. You're in the library now.
So quiet.
is it, no, it's not. Solon's around.
I didn't
To be
say it
fair,
is quiet.
every library I've been to in college is never fucking quiet.
No, not at all. There's always tons of talking. I agree.
I'm going to stop and listen for Dougal.
Google.
The UW library, it depends on where you are, but a lot of it is actually really fucking quiet.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of
Because there's a
students
lot of
are there?
really like serious research section.
Oh, that's fair.
I don't know. I went to Dartmouth,
remember
man.
going-
Like there's a lot of research going on there, like medical stuff, and that library was loud.
I remember going when I had some stupid research project in like junior high. My dad was a UW alumni, and he's like, "I get free access to the library. Let's go find some good books." And I was like, "We could just use the internet, Dad." But like going in there, I was like, "This is one of the quietest places I've ever been, and also it's a fucking maze."
Oh,
Depending on where you are, there's some
yeah.
pretty open areas.
It's also
So
fucking
far, it
huge.
sounds like this entire campus was built to be a goddamn maze.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Well, I mean,
Is it
that's what
is it like an
happens when you
old
just
campus?
relatively, and it's also one of the things where, like, Seattle in general just has a theme of they just keep adding on to things instead of
Yeah.
deconstructing and reconstructing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
have we-
Coruscant.
Have we talked about the underground at all in Seattle?
Not yet. It hasn't come up yet.
No, excellent.
There's an actual underground?
Yeah,
Uh,
so Seattle is legitimately built on top of itself several times,
She was supposed
and
to
there's a
Oh, okay.
whole ass
So
fucking underground.
I'm thinking underground like in England, like the London Underground.
No.
You're talking like they just built city on top of city. Gotcha. Okay.
Seattle burnt down. Like the biggest source of most of the underground is Seattle burnt down, and they were just like, "Fuck it." Things were kind of shitty before and how they were built. Let's just board over everything and build on top of it. So, like, realistically, it is one of the best places for vampires like this because there's so many places that you could just go and find the remains of a building underneath a random street in Seattle.
Mm. So it sounds like Boston.
Oh, I
Sounds
should have
about
rolled
right.
it this way.
remember that Lowell was supposed to be searching through someplace damp as well.
Oh yeah, that would have. Okay, that was just for me learning.
What did we learn?
Yeah,
That
like I'm
if you
confused.
click on the little bag next to your, if you have a specialty in that, when you do it, because your specialty gives you an extra die. So I should have actually rolled 8 die because it would have been 7 plus the hunger die. It
Oh,
is
is that what it
so
does?
yeah. So
Oh,
if you,
okay.
Oh.
Well, either way, you would have found out the same information, even if
right,
you'd have gotten one more success.
I just
Hi,
it
Connie.
was more
Yes.
the holy shit, I learned something.
Side tangent. Anu was messing around on my workbench, right? And he tried to knock over Angron because he wants me to feed him, and Angron came back and bopped him in the face with its wing.
That seems right.
That seems accurate.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
misinterpreted what you said as Anu wanting you to feed Angron.
I mean, probably, honestly. It was kind of cute. Now he's mad. Both of them.
Well, I was gonna say Angron usually is.
All right, we're here to pick up the kids.
Daddy?
What if we leave him here? What would happen, do you think?
Did you just say daddy?
You look
Uh,
over and Solon is like in a fort of books in the middle of an aisle.
I love it.
I
That would be awesome.
I now accept your question and think we should move forward with that plan and turn and start walking out.
It's fine. Oh man.
All right, so you put Solon in the baby carrier that's on John's chest, and
John has one of those like what do you call it? Things like
Slings.
the slings, yeah. Perfect.
I'm sorry, but like my brain went places with that. I imagined John like pulling out a giant blanket and wrapping up Solon like they do with bats and owls to do X-rays on them and shit. Like basically turn it into a little burrito and then stick it into
That's old
like,
school
the sling on
slings.
his front.
That's old school slings. That's how I was carried around.
They just put me
Just
on a
really,
leash.
just really like the idea of a Solon burrito.
It'll look normal exiting the library like that. It's fine.
We don't make anybody. We don't question.
I mean, for the U district, it would not surprise
I'm
anyone. I'm
game.
pretty
If you want
sure.
to roll me
Yeah.
up, man. I mean, I like Snuggies.
I like Snuggies.
Like I just imagine, like, oh, he must have had an energy drink. Like just seeing how Solus is acting in the library.
Fine. It's a caffeine crash.
As we're getting out, is there like a food truck or something?
Yeah, several.
I'm gonna go find
Always.
like a Asian fusion taco truck that's got like a kimchi General Tso's chicken burrito, and I'm just gonna get one of those as we're walking.
All right, so which of the 7 trucks are you going to?
The one that looks like they speak the least English.
Which one of the 5?
Oh, okay. So like the really tiny like utility van like we saw at work the other day, and it's like constructed out of sticks off the bed of it.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
one.
Okay. All right. That's the beanfish one.
Sounds good.
Beanfish?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
actually a food truck that comes around the area.
yeah. They used to use like one of those little utility vans, and like the guy who because it was a older uh, man and his wife that ran it. She did all the cooking and he did all the prep work and shit and worked the register. And the actual like area that they used was basically a fold out wooden construction, and then they upgraded to a fucking an actual food truck a while ago. Like, what was that? About like 7 or 8 years ago, I want to say.
Something
Sure.
like that, considering they're like out of business now.
Yeah. No, it sucks because they were outstanding. And yeah,
Delicious taiyaki.
God, yes, it was.
I just hope
The
that
things I
my
miss from
food
working
truck
from home.
isn't there.
Sorry, what was that?
I'm just hoping that my food truck, my personal food truck, isn't there.
No. Anyway, so you successfully acquire your whatever the fuck you asked for taco, and
General
yeah,
Tso's kimchi burrito.
right, whatever the fuck taco. That goes off without a hitch. Nobody looks at you weird. In fact, you get a couple of people that are like, "Yeah, right on," and then walk into like a pole or something because they're probably high off their fucking shit. And you're going to be able to make it back relatively easily. And since we're coming up on time, is there anything else that you guys want to do before we call it for this session? And then on top of that, do we want to go ahead and proceed, just assuming you're doing off the um, your off time stuff for the rest of the night, and then we'll pick up in the next session as a new night, or do you want to continue the night? Because honestly, this probably only took about like 4-ish hours. You're probably looking at about another 6 before you guys have to go to bed.
My vote is to find Liliana and Magnolia, but
Tonight.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
tonight.
agreed.
Okay, so then what we'll be doing next session is basically picking up where we're leaving off here. There won't be any going to bed or anything like that.
Yeah, we need the blood seagulls.
Okay, and are you actually the point of clarification too? Are you actually going back to the museum, or are you going out to Magnolia to the park?
I think just straight to Magnolia.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Is there anything you guys want to do before you leave to go to Magnolia?
Oh, I would have kept the or the sample that was left in a petri dish, closed, sealed petri dish from the university, as opposed to carrying around a trash bag with dust in it.
Sure, totally. Anything else?
I want to see if there's a good place we can stop and get a bucket of raw fish.
Guess that's one of the food trucks.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was
I was
gonna
gonna
say,
say.
That's
just
true.
go to the food truck and ask for scraps.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a great idea.
And I can absolutely assure you, you'd be able to find that, and they probably just give it to you.
Cool.
Yeah, fish taco truck. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
you
so
guys
which
have
one
one of
of the
those.
12?
Yes.
The one that smells the fishiest.
Yeah.
The one where the fish crabs speak the least amount of English? Okay, anything else?
Not for me.
Nope, nothing here.
I'm good.
Question. Considering I'm kind of wearing, like, I guess the closest thing is Agent 47 suit, how well can I hide a hand crossbow?
Okay, I'm not going to go with my initial question because you're currently streaming. Um, but reasonably well, you'd be able to, like, with an appropriate apparatus, you would probably be able to uh, equip it like in the small of your back kind of deal. But you would have to have an appropriate apparatus for it. Otherwise, it would be pretty obvious you at least have something underneath your clothes that isn't just you being excited. Or maybe you are. I don't judge. We're not body shaming here.
Let's see. Because, hold on.
I would have questions, but
I mean, Solon's all rubbing up on him. I get it.
dude does squirm a bit.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
All right. Well, on that note, anything else that you guys want to ask about or do? Um, you can message me. You can post in the chat. That's all totally fine. I swear I'll look at it. Otherwise, we will be picking up in 2 weeks from today. I'll create the event even if I can't see it. Hell, maybe I'll even fix the problem. So 2 weeks from today, we'll be picking up, and what we'll be doing is going directly to Magnolia. Right?
Yep.
Got it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Cool. Sounds good. Again, thank you all for attending, even if I had to, poke and prod a little bit with Guri. It was a lot of fun. I learned that I'm dumb, and I'm okay with that.
Learned I'm dumb and I'm okay with that.
Listen, at this point in my life, I just have to accept that I'm dumb. Either way, had a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining, and I will see you all for this collective reason again in 2 weeks.
Sounds good.
Sounds
Looking forward to it.
good.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
You guys
Later.
have a good night.
Later.
All right. All right. So I guess I'll do a quick outro here for us. Is thank you guys so much for watching, lurking, all that good stuff. You heard them. We'll be back this early again in a couple of weeks. Yeah. Hopefully. Like honestly, today was a lot better than the last time we did this because last time we were all just dead. So this was, you know, a lot of people talking, you know. That's all a D&D campaign is. As long as you know the people playing enjoy and the people watching, hopefully you like our little chat and all that. Like, you know, just us bantering. And hopefully it's just there for banter and to have fun and have a nice story going on. So hopefully you guys like this. And again, I will be back with something soonish. But anyway, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you all later. Bye bye.